Hey guys, how's it going? TBC should 100% be sped up. And I'm saying this because TBC is a very bottom heavy expansion. And a lot of expansions are like this. This is kind of the best part of most expansions. People love getting to end game, grinding pre-bis, and then the game starts to slow down. Vanilla, in my opinion, is the only game where everything remains relevant the entire expansion. So you are constantly doing stuff outside of raid, whether it be, and that's just not even including world buffs or grinding other stuff, right? But you go into TBC, and the first month is super overwhelming. You have all the reputation grinds you need to do, all of your attunements, everything. It's a lot. And the issue with this is the reputations. You will get those naturally just by grinding prebis. Your prebis is a lot easier to get. There's a lot of quests that streamline it. They change the process on how that all works. And there's a lot of crafting gear that is really good. Kara, since it's only 10 man, is also super accessible, and it naturally makes loot scarcity way less. And that is where a bulk of your bis gear comes from in phase 1. So that's a huge factor. But then you go into phase 2. And phase 2, you still have loot scarcity. SSC and TK are very good. They have a lot of phenomenal pieces. Just speaking from Resto Shaman experience. And it's still good. You know, you're really not starting to get a huge power creep yet. You're going to start getting that in phase 3. But old content still remains relevant. Like, we had horrible caster gear. And because of that, we were still running Kara every week for one of our mages who was rocking the curator staff, who was just trying to get anything. DST is really good from Gruul, so you're just going to keep running that. But there's a lot of stuff that, as the game progresses, I mean, you're still probably going to be doing Gruul later in the game, just becomes completely irrelevant. Like, SSC and TK, I don't ever remember going back into there in phase 3. I think we did TK once, and we just skipped all the way to Kael'thas, nuked him down real quick, and then left. But that was about it. Everything really just remains irrelevant after that point. You're going to keep doing Black Temple, even in Sunwell. The gear's insane. Glaives, there's some really big pieces in there, but that's about it. And even then, you're probably going to be skipping stuff if they, keep doing the skips. But so my point is, outside of raiding, really not a lot to do. Reputations, attunements, all going to be done really early. So there's really not a lot to do outside of raid. And when the phases are really long, like they were in TBC Classic, it starts to get really boring. People are going to be wanting to jump to other games. It's going to be hard for raiders and guilds to kind of keep things consistent, because people are going to be like, oh, we've already done this before just a few years ago, and it's long. So they need to actually speed up the phases. TBC is the only, I don't really agree with speeding up the phases in vanilla, but in TBC, you absolutely have to speed up the phases. It'll make the game feel way better. Definitely get to those power creeps. Black Temple is a really good raid. I don't like Mount Hyjal, but SSC and TK are good. I think SSC is definitely much better than TK, but absolutely speed up the phases. I really don't think that there's a good argument for not doing it. If they're going to give us a TBC era too, especially, everyone's going to have time to enjoy TBC. They need to give us a TBC era. In my personal opinion, what my dream scenario would be is Blizzard does a cycle every few years. Private servers have done this for years, where they will do a vanilla to Wrath setting of the game, and instead, because private servers don't do this, instead just shoot people out at the end of the vanilla one to the vanilla era. TBC 1 and Wrath 1. They could charge us to clone them, or you could just have the option like you did going from vanilla to TBC, where it's like, hey, I'm going to stop here and clone my character and just not play TBC. Or, hey, I'm going to stop at TBC and just not play Wrath and clone to TBC for free on that first initial time. And I think that that's really what they should do. I think that it'll give people fresh consistently how they want. It'll give people eras like they want. It'll bring new blood into eras. People who are like, okay, I did TBC once. I don't want to do it again. Just a vanilla fresh, and I want to go to era. I think that that is the best way to please everybody. And I think that they should do it. So take care, guys.